Ebisu Premium Hoppus Blend Golden Ale. This golden ale from Ebisu is brewed with 2 select German hop varieties. Cheers to that. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Maydaysan here. Welcome, my Harus, Kentas, Yotaros, Harukas, Yukas, and my often forgotten, but not by me, Kenjis. What is going on, guys? Maydaysan, and today I'd like to talk about 2020 and 2021 in the channel moving forward. I have been on a break for the last 2 weeks, just relaxing and taking time for myself and not really doing anything of the extraordinary or making any new kind of content because I needed a goddamn break. Of course, I had my content that I had for my Patreons and everybody here as well. And I don't know what kind of persona I'm putting on right now, but I'm just going with it. Y'all know how it is. I do this all in one take because who can be bothered with editing a video for 2 views? Well, I'm just joking, guys. Thank you guys for always watching my videos and always supporting the channel and all the things that I do. If any of you can guess what impression I'm actually doing, leave it down in the comment section down below. Maybe you'll be part of the crew. But anyway, guys, let's talk about 2020 this year. 2020 for me was a transformative year for me and my content. I started Maydaysan in 2019. And 2019, I started ALT-based content. I was making long-form skits, about 3 minutes, all in one take, kind of, might be multiple takes sometimes, making videos about the ALT life and English teaching life and life in Japan. And that's how I kind of started the channel. And towards the end of that year, 2020 came around, and I started TikTok. And shouts to the Andy San for that, for pushing that on me for the longest time to start the TikTok, and he thought that I'd be great on it, and it was a good thing that I did. We ended up getting about 245,000 followers on the TikTok, and unfortunately, but fortunately at the same time, it's kind of stopped there. I appreciate all 245,000 of you that support my TikToks and my comedy. Unfortunately, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's my lack of content. Maybe it's the stars aligning, or maybe I'm shadow banned. But we just haven't been able to break 245K. But that's okay. It's honestly fine. As long as I'm enjoying what I'm doing and that you guys are enjoying the laughs, it's all good in the hood. So let's talk about the TikTok career. So the TikTok career kind of took off just by me making random skits that I've always had on my notepad for my long form skits, and I wanted to just finally just put it out there, and I just started making things. I just started making all these ideas about the small little one-liners that I've always wanted to pull off. You know, and in February we had one of our greatest skits, which was the Valentine's skit, which was a fun one. It was like a play on comedy of that, like the Japanese commercials where they would do this whole story, and then at the end they would just throw in a product that had nothing to do with the story, and I thought that was fun. We did a couple of those. We did the Kit Kat. We also did the onigiri and stuff like that. Then we also had the phase of like Mayday-chan when I was wearing like the high school girl uniforms. We also had the phase of Goddamn Weebs. I think we kind of put that out throughout the whole summer. Goddamn Weebs was a fun one. It was just something I just made, just walking down the street. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna just do this and just be cynical and be a troll. And then of course we had our English skits as well, and some other random stuff thrown here and there. One of the best things that happened in my career this year was the amount of sponsors that I actually got to do, and I got to work with different types of companies and different kinds of products, and that's always been something I've dreamed of doing. And honestly, I'm grateful that I was able to actually do that and have people want to work with me and believe in what I wanted to say on my channel, what I wanted to do, because this channel has always kind of been about me just expressing myself in a way that others aren't doing. You know, for the longest time I was doing parodies as well. I was doing parodies of Pablo from Tokyo. So it's Paulo from Tokyo, Mr. Yabatan. We got Dogen in there. We had a whole bunch of fun collabs you also had going on too. And it was also sprinkled with a whole bunch of depression here and there as well. Of course, that's just the way it is. And we saw some exponential growth just from the content, especially Royal Milk Tea. Everybody loves that one for some reason. And it was just incredible to see the amount of people that can relate with my content in Japan and outside of Japan too. I think one of the most passionate communities I have is probably my Facebook community, which is where everything kind of started, other than here on YouTube. And they are a passionate bunch. I always read the comments, guys. I read all the comments. I read everything that I can, to the point of addiction where that would be the first thing I do in the morning, which is not healthy. But I always been paying attention and always reading the comments and stuff like that. And I really appreciate everything. I can't respond to all of them. There is just that many. And I know a lot of you feel bad that I didn't respond, but just do know that I do read them and I do appreciate all the fine words. Also on the Maydaysan YouTube channel, we've gone through some changes that I was so afraid to do this whole year. What I didn't want to do, I had Maydaysan Talks on a separate channel for the longest time, and then I brought most of that content onto this channel, and it was fun just breaking away from skits and making different types of content. I think that really opened up the floodgates for me to experiment with different types of content on this channel. And even got to a point where we were even uploading just the TikTok videos on here as well, and compilations. And I know some people didn't really like that, but now that YouTube has like YouTube Shorts, I may start doing that again, just to kind of pick up steam on here. But I think one of the biggest things that we did for this channel was introduce Japanese lessons. And I think that one was one of the most boldest moves I've made in my career, because I never thought I would be doing that. I never thought I was qualified to do that, but it turns out that I can do it. It turns out that I can. And I think that kind of came from a passion of me teaching English to my kids, my students, and kind of just transferring that energy over and transferring my personality over, and the way I teach that in English, in Japanese to you guys with the Relearn Japanese series. And, I think it's the start of making this channel, Maydaysan, a variety channel, a channel with almost everything in this niche. And honestly, I'm excited for it. I've also brought Asuka on board as well. For the longest time, I didn't want to put her on here because I didn't want the channel to become dependent on Asuka and Maydaysan, because God forbid something happens, then we've all seen how couple channels go, knock on the proverbial wood. But I decided, what, fuck it, let's just do it. I want to do something with her together, and I know she wants to do this too. So it's been fun doing the Japanglish podcast and creating content for intermediate things, because it's always kind of been something I've been struggling with when I've been studying Japanese here. Like, I just you get to that point where like, well, what can I do now once I've gotten to novice? It's just like, I don't know. So I thought of creative ways that I would want to study it. We got the Japanglish Times, which is like a half Japanese half thing and a half English. Then we got that Japanglish podcast. We got the Relearn Japanese, got kanji, but we got all that stuff on the Patreon. And the funny thing was that the Patreon for the longest time had like no content, and I always felt bad, and it almost became a pity party Patreon, and I had to get rid of that. And now we actually provide some actual content on that thing. So if you guys would like to become part of the Patreon, then do that. And I think that was also a huge decision for me as well, to start up a Patreon and to be able to swallow the pride and be like, yo, if you would like to support the channel, and basically ask for money. And I still kind of feel uncomfortable doing that unless I'm providing exceptional content back, as long as it doesn't take away from the main content itself. But I've been enjoying making that content and having that constant grind and having that responsibility to make something for the people who go the extra mile for us. Also, that we finally released music on this channel in 2020. Music videos and music that I've had like stocked up and I've always wanted to release. We finally released that. We released Salaryman. We also released Gaijin Bingo and Your Fifth Grader's an Asshole. And someone reported me to the police because I called their fifth grader an asshole in the song because they're an idiot. And that was also a big step for me. And just making songs and making these videos, especially during the quarantine time back in spring, it was quite a tough time. And we might be going back into that again coming forward. Let me just take a whiff. And I think, this year has just been a year, or last year rather. This last year has been a year of just being courageous and not giving a fuck and just really doing what I want and doing what I want to do and just improving on myself. I think during the last year of 2020, I've really just improved mentally. I think one of the things that really helped me was stopping ranting on Twitter, and just kind of taking a step back from all of that, and just, if I wanted to really rant, I could just do it on my private account, which I won't disclose here, but I just got to write it down. Yeah, I think that was one of the biggest mentally good things to do. Making a backlog was also the best things I could do mentally. And just taking breaks was a big thing as well. Of course, the algorithm, especially on TikTok, I think when I did take a break on TikTok for like about 2 weeks or 3 weeks, the algorithm just like dropped me off. And that's unfortunate. That's just the way it is. And we'll get back on the horse again. And, that's just the way it's going to be. We're just going to have to make more content, just make more content moving forward, Speaking of content, we also finally launched a second channel, a real second channel, my maydaysan gaming channel. So for those of you who don't know, I am a huge gamer and I'm a huge person that loves like commentary videos and commentary podcasts and stuff like that. And I've always wanted to make that kind of content, and I never found like a good place to put it. Like it never really belonged on here. It didn't belong maydaysan Talk, so I made my own channel, maydaysan Gaming, and that has like almost 500 subscribers now. So that's crazy, and that's a place for me to really just put whatever I want, my passion. It's really just my passion channel. Like the videos I've always wanted to just make, and like airsoft videos. I think those are one of my favorite ones to make, my airsoft videos. Also my gaming channel videos, just about like Call of Duty and stuff like that. And that channel, I can actually just put up whatever I want without any consequence, or when thinking about branding or anything like that. So I'm really enjoying that I can really have a channel for that. So if you'd like to subscribe to the maydaysan Gaming channel, it is down there as well. But let's talk about 2021. 2020 was great for content and for me personally. 2021, what are we going to do? I don't have a script here or anything, guys, but it feels like 2021, it still feels like 2020. It doesn't feel like we've moved forward or reset, if you will, on anything. It just feels like it's just another day and nothing's changed at all. That's probably because of Corona bronies, because it kind of just put everything on pause, and until this pandemic is over, it's not going to feel like a new year. It just feels like not even a part two. It just feels like it didn't end. It feels like nothing changed at all. And that's kind of the way I kind of feel about my content right now. It's just like I don't feel this reset or this kind of urge to set new goals or anything. I just kind of want to keep going with the flow and just doing things and just making stuff and just saying yes to almost anything. And just, you want to try a new idea, just put it out there, just do it and see where it fits appropriately. That being said, one of the biggest focuses this year that I want to do is, of course, the Patreon stuff. And also one of the biggest focuses I want to do this year is not only make the Patreon content, but also make content for the YouTube channel as well that will still be valuable. And I want to make the Patreon more of a extra value. I know I promised an intermediate course that I wanted to make, and that kind of turned into just intermediate elements. So the Japan English podcast, Japan English Times, Kanji Buff, all that stuff kind of turned into intermediate learning as a whole. But I still want to make something that is a concrete thing. I also want to kind of get back into like making long form skits at some point if it seems viable. It just doesn't seem viable to me to make long form skits anymore. But I think before the vacation happened, I started making English videos again. Less videos about politics, less videos about social microaggressions and stuff like that, which I know go viral, and I see a lot of my friends, you talk about that kind of stuff and they go viral that way. But just kind of going back to home and going back to roots has kind of brought me back mentally. So I kind of want to just go back to that for a while as well. I don't know. We'll see what happens. All I know is that I want to create and I want to get back on the content grind and just, push this thing, push the Patreon, push the YouTube, push everything, and really just get back on it. And, I want to make a backlog, but at the same time, not having too much of a backlog. Because I still want to keep those creative juices flowing. So that being said, I think what we're going to have here is a mix of maybe some more content with Ask On here, more generic stuff like couple kind of stuff as well, variety stuff. We'll also have some skits, we'll have some music, we'll have some Japanese lessons. We're gonna have another Japanese series I want to do because I'm now an affiliate with Nihongo Master. So I want to see if we can get more videos that'll be helpful to you guys on that as well. And, you know, the goals is just to make everybody laugh. Just make everyone laugh, whether it be in Japanese lessons, Japanese videos, or in skits or whatever. That's always been the goal, to make you laugh. And yeah, guys, cheers. You know what? There's something left to say here. Cheers, everybody. Thank you so much. Oh, let me turn on the microphone. Guys, thank you so much for your support for 2020. Here's 2021. We're going to be making new content and spreading the laughter for all of eternity. Thank you guys so much for your support. Really, really thank you. Thank you so much. And I love you all. And maybe someday we'll see hello. My name is Haru. Cheers. Good night. Okay, that's awkward. Okay, good night.